All right, better late than never. It's time for Weather Geeks, the Thursday evening edition. I've been trying to start this video for a while, but I've been besieged by technical difficulties. But hopefully we'll get through this without too many problems this evening. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the short range because we've covered it a lot over the last couple of days, and there's not anything dramatic happening in the next few days other than a big thaw. Our current snow cover looks like this. Most places have a good 6 to 10 inches of snow on the ground. And this is going to shrink big time over the next couple of days. Really nice high-resolution satellite picture from the MODIS satellite, low-orbiting satellite showing the ice over parts of Lake Erie. But that's going to shrink quite a bit and shift around over the next few days. As you look a little closer to home here, here's Mosquito Lake, here's Pymatuning, and of course a big, deep snowpack in northeast Ohio and into western parts of Pennsylvania. But with the thaw coming, a lot of that's going to disappear. We got off to a cold start this morning. I had 0 at my house. We had a -3 over in Mercer and a lot of single digits to start the day. But then it warmed up into the lower 30s this afternoon. What a beautiful day. We had wall-to-wall sunshine throughout the course of the day. All right, as we've been advertising, a windy day coming up tomorrow. Already at 6 in the morning, we could have some 40 to 45 mile-an-hour gusts out in western Ohio. We might be gusting between 20 and 30 here early Friday. And the windiest part of the day is probably the afternoon. Could be some 50-plus gusts, western Ohio, Lima, Toledo, down to Dayton. 36-mile-per-hour gust shown on the model here at 1 p.m. I think we can average 35 to perhaps 40 as far as gusts tomorrow afternoon, and it's going to stay pretty breezy right into Saturday morning. This is why the National Weather Service does have a wind advisory out for the western tier of counties in Ohio and just about all of Indiana and Illinois. Wouldn't be shocked if some wind advisories extended a little farther east into Ohio. Probably not here, but perhaps into central Ohio by tonight. All right, a warm front's heading our way. This is the front that's going to just change our air mass very suddenly. Arctic air mass gets replaced quickly. This warm front, the model's showing a little bit of precipitation with it first thing tomorrow morning or even into the pre-dawn hours. I think this is going to be virga, precipitation that evaporates before reaching the ground. The air in a couple of thousand feet above our heads is very dry. And so even though the model's spitting out a little stuff here, I doubt it reaches the ground. Tomorrow, boy, off to the races. Deep southerly to southwesterly flow here. You can see our little doodads coming up out of the south, indicating the wind direction and speed. Isobars are packed together here. A really windy day, but not bad. Upper 40s with some sun. Cold front washes out, maybe a stray shower with that tomorrow night, and then Saturday, it's just a beautiful day. Saturday's going to look a lot like today, but it's going to feel a lot different. It'll be 25 degrees warmer on Saturday, and, of course, by Saturday, a lot of our snow will be melting quickly and in the process of becoming mud. All right, as we head into the day on Sunday, a little low-pressure system is going to track somewhere across the lower Ohio Valley. Forecasting challenge here. Does this moisture come far enough north to impact us or not? And it's up for debate right now. The European model's kind of on its own here. That's the purple line, spitting out some rain here on Sunday. The other modeling is saying, no, it's going to stay dry. So we kept our chance for rain pretty low in the 7-day forecast. I have it at 40%, just because throwing some respect at the European model here, generally considered to be our best medium-range model. But it is no certainty that it rains at all on Sunday, and temperatures will still be above the average. All right, let's go in-depth about next week. A lot of rumors, of course, about another big storm middle of next week, somewhere in the east. I've been talking about this for a couple of days. If you're watching this video, chances are you are savvy enough to know that you shouldn't share a lot of stuff that looks ridiculous on Facebook. If you don't know your weather source, don't share it. It tends to spread anxiety and misinformation, and kind of diminishes our credibility a little bit, even if it didn't come from us. If somebody posts a map showing 2 feet of snow and then that doesn't come to fruition, guess who gets the blame? Well, it's us, even though it wasn't our forecast. So just know your sources. Only share information from sources you know, and most credible sources at this point would not be talking about any sort of specific numbers for the middle of next week. Here's what I think is the most likely situation right now. I think the band of heaviest snow is most likely to be centered over the Appalachian Mountains and then heading up into New England. But, at this time last week, I said kind of the same thing, and the storm track, surely enough, did start shifting west. But as it stands now, with the information that's available right now, this is where I think it is most likely to be. But I've got us in the snow possible area in this gray color. across eastern Ohio and into western PA. Let me hop out here over to my browser. I'll show you some modeling. Here's the European model. I'm going to skip ahead to the middle of next week. What I'm showing you here is the upgraded version of the European, which will become operational coming up in a few weeks. WeatherBell subscribers can view this on weatherbell.com. And this, the what they call the parallel version, or the kind of beta version of this model that will become live here in a few weeks, shows a pretty big storm for us. This has a band of heavy snow over our region. This would be Wednesday into the afternoon and evening. The center of the low is pretty far to the east, but it still has a pretty good plume of moisture back here. The current version of the European, the one that most people can see now, has everything to the east. But this upgraded version, which you tend to think would maybe have a better handle on things since it has better physics and guts built into it, has a bigger storm farther to the west. Here's what it's spitting out for snow. This is the regular European. Here's the upgraded version, suggesting that we would be in for a shovelable and plowable snow in eastern Ohio and western PA. That's the European. The GFS, today's runs were pretty much wide right for the most part. It has kind of a nuisance accumulation, if you will. Here's Wednesday, and it's even warm enough that it could be a mix of rain and snow. It has kind of a mild air mass sticking around, and the center of the low is pretty far to our east. So the GFS would suggest a minor nuisance type event, probably not a big deal. Here's a look at the 21 members of the GFS ensemble. Some of these members have a storm, some do not. Here's one with a storm all the way back into western Ohio and rain in eastern Ohio. This one has a big snowstorm. This one right here. This one has a big snowstorm. This one has rain. This one has nothing. This one has rain. This one has rain. And then some have nothing. So the GFS is really all over the map in its ensembles as to any impacts here. European, as I just showed you, suggests a pretty big storm. The operational GFS says a nuisance storm. The 21 members of the GFS ensemble say, I don't know. So that's where the modeling stands there. Here's the European ensemble. The ensemble mean shows a nuisance storm for eastern Ohio, western PA, maybe a couple or a few inches. The control run of the European has nothing. So, showing you a lot of stuff here, and I know it's easy to get some of this information confused, but I want you to take away from this is very much a fluid situation, and the storm from a few days ago started out looking like it was going to be east and drifted west. This one right now, odds based on all the information, favor it being perhaps east of us, but it could very well drift west. We've got a 30% chance in our 7-day forecast of snow on Wednesday. I'm going to keep the pop low, probability of precipitation, until we start getting some decent agreement amongst the models. This storm could very well miss us. There's no guarantee that it snows during the middle of next week. What's my gut feeling right now? Well, I think there are some impacts from this storm. Big impacts? I don't know. But I have a gut feeling that there will be at least some impacts. A very similar thing to what I told you about this time last week. But that's my best guess at the moment. That was my best guess at this time last week. And then, of course, as we got deeper into the weekend, it became more obvious that we were going to get some impacts. So we'll see what this weekend brings. Hopefully some more model agreement. All right, thanks for hanging with me. I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11. More Weather Geeks coming your way Friday evening.